Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm Paul Merriweather with Small Biz Shoutout, and joining me today is the owner and founder of SustainABar. And I'm going to have her introduce herself and jump right in. We're going to start out having her tell us a little bit about how they got started, what it is, how they got started, what they're doing, and we'll just go from there. So Julia, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Okay, well, Paul, thanks for having me on. I'm Julia Scheeres. I live in a small town in the Bay Area called Albany, California. And we started SustainABar a year ago. And the origin, so what SustainABar does, I should back up, is we make bars of common household cleaning and beauty products. So instead of having a bottle of shampoo, you can have a bar of shampoo. So we have a line of zero waste bars. So we have shampoo, conditioner, dish soap, lotion, shaving cream, and a body soap, and we continue to expand. So it's been, the whole idea is to get rid of the plastic bottle and have a concentrated form of whatever the product is that you need.
Hmm.
And it came to me after seeing our recycling bin heaped with plastic bottles. Specifically shampoo bottles, because I have two adolescent daughters who are just like, dumping the shampoo on their head, using it as a body wash. And
Right.
we were going through so much shampoo. So we were, as a family, trying to be more sustainable. And I went out and I bought one of the mall store shampoo bars, and it was really small and expensive. So then, I'm a journalist by trade. I wondered, could I do this, myself for cheaper?
Mm-hmm.
And that just basically led me down this path to what we have today, where we are in 3 different retail shops and have a very busy online business. So
Gotcha. And this is the time of year too, and during the holidays that hopefully that's good for you. This is when most businesses make their money if they have a retail product.
yes, I've been telling my daughters that, because my they are this, the CEOs, the figurehead CEOs, I should say. I make all the product. They package and prepare it and help clean up. So I've been telling them that, because we've been getting a ton of orders, and they get a cut, obviously. So they have to
Yeah.
work for their money.
Sure, that's awesome. That's great. So I love that you're involving your daughters and giving them those titles and giving them an upfront view in terms of what it takes to start and grow a business and involving them firsthand. I think that's the best thing you could do for kids, instead of training them to go work in cube land. So talk to me a little bit about that and what your thought process was for involving them.
Well, the thought process was that, gosh, so in 2019, when the environment was one of the top concerns in the news, before everything really went off the hook with all the other horrible things that have happened in 2020,
Right.
we were just wondering as a family how we could be more sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just heartbreaking to see all the science around global warming and, increased megastorms, and, what could we do as a family to lessen our footprint on the earth and to
Mm-hmm.
help the earth. And so, I mean, that was really the uh, the thought process that got us interested. And more than me, what kind of earth will and you and I, what kind of earth will our children and their children inherit if we don't do something now?
Right.
So it was more of like a sense of an emergency. We need to do something. What can we do as a family? So it was for my daughter Tessa. She was then in 8th grade. We had made these prototypes of shampoo and conditioner, and she brought them to her 8th grade craft fair,
Hmm.
and they sold out within an hour.
Oh my goodness.
So that kind of like, floating the idea out there, can this work? This happened at my daughter's middle school craft fair.
Wow.
So we realized there was a market for this. And then, it blew up from there.
What'd you start out with at the craft fair? What product did you offer up? Was it just the soap or was it or the shampoo?
It was a combination shampoo bar and conditioner bar.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just for very low price, kind of trial sizes, wrapped very cutely for Christmas. It was a, holiday craft fair. And people really loved the idea.
Yeah.
So I think especially here in California, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe more than the rest of the country. I think there's a lot of, there's a big desire to do something to impact.
I think it goes age-wise also, right? I think you'll see a lot of, younger folks who are more conscious and aware and caring about that as well. So I think that I know California is certainly probably more progressive in terms of understanding what that looks like. But I think that the college-age kids all have a concern, which is great also. So you started out that, so it sounds like last holiday season was when you first did that craft fair. Is that correct? Is that a safe?
Yes, last December is when we
Okay.
started.
All right. So you've been at it about almost a year then.
That's correct.
All right. So you're at it a year. Talk to me about where you currently are and what I want you to talk a little bit about some of the struggles, right? So you are a true startup. You're in 3 retail spots. And you are the definition of a small business, a startup. Talk to me about what you're currently doing, what you're currently facing, the challenges, and I think people would be very interested to just kind of hear about that.
Right. So, first of all, I have no background in business.
Hmm.
As you know, I'm a writer by trade.
Yep.
Business never appealed to me. It always
Hmm.
sounded like boring. I was even on the business desk at the LA Times at one point, and I couldn't wait to get off of it. I had no interest in how businesses function. But now that I'm running one, it's been really interesting. So everything from like figuring out what's a fair price, because we
Mm,
don't want we think that sustainability should be affordable for everyone. We don't want to be a lifestyle brand where only the rich people can afford this product.
right.
Um, so I think figuring out the price point, because these are handmade, bars,
Mm,
hand poured, hand stirred, take a lot of time and expensive ingredients to make.
mm,
How can we, figuring out that once we had a demand to buy in bulk, bigger quantities,
mm-hmm.
which up front is a huge investment.
Yep. Yep.
It's been really hard figuring out those aspects. And again, I think if I had a business background, it could have been helpful, because I'm just learning all this on the fly.
Mm. So you bring up a great topic of conversation in terms of affordability, right? If you really want to make something, be bought into, affordability is going to be, a concern. But yet you have that price point of being able to pay for things. There's still overhead that you had, fixed costs
Yeah.
that you guys have, right? And then it sounds like you guys are doing this out of your home. Is that a safe
Yes.
assumption also,
Out of our
right?
kitchen.
Well, where's that?
Out of our kitchen.
Out of your kitchen, right? So so I'm
Yeah.
sure that that's another consideration also. So how has that been in terms of getting to that, finding that sweet spot? Do you feel like you found your sweet spot from a pricing standpoint, and or are you still kind of working that through?
I do. I feel confident now about, because I'm ordering, bulk coconut oil and cocoa butter and shea butter and all of these ingredients from this place in Arkansas.
Hmm.
So I'm lately putting in orders for like $500 worth of raw ingredients that we're going to turn into bars, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they also have an expiration date of like these ingredients of about 2 years. But because we keep growing, I feel more confident having these larger orders, and then I don't have to worry about inventory. Like, oh no,
Yeah.
we're almost out of this. It's going to take them 3 weeks to ship it to me.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm feeling more confident, and we've been able to keep prices down. Another thing about our bars, and I wish I had some here to show you, is that they're small, because it's a concentrated. If you took a bottle of shampoo and got rid of the water, because the shampoo,
Right.
for example, is 80% water.
Yes.
This is what we're talking about, the concentrated cleanser. So one of our bars will last you at least for 2 big bottles of shampoo.
Oh,
They
wow.
last forever.
Excellent.
So there's the economic aspect, which is also appealing to people.
Yeah.
But trying to convince people to go from some mass marketed shampoo that they can just pluck off the shelf at Target, and they see the ads and the marketing, and oh, it makes your hair blah.
Right. Right.
We don't have that. So we appeal to sustainability and also thrift.
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly.
Well, I was kicking around your website a little bit, and there is an order coming from this household. Saw
Yeah.
that starter kit that you have there, so that I'm gonna definitely for this holiday season be checking that out, and hopefully our household will also be able to buy into that and use it, because again, I get you with the whole having kids at that age group in terms of the amount of toiletries you go through. So this is where you currently are. You're kind of battling through what I think every entrepreneur, goes through. Especially if you're not starting a franchise that's kind of got everything, performed out for you and figured out in terms of profitability. And so, where do you see this going? What do you want to do with it? Because you're working at your full time, well publicized author and an award winning author. You have a spouse that works. You have two young, girls that are in school. So what does this look like for you all going forward? Where do you see yourselves?
Honestly, having the quarantine and, I think have one of the most strict lockdowns here in
Yeah,
California. We just went into a lockdown, well, starting tonight, where we can't socialize with anybody outside of our
yeah, I
household,
was reading about that. Yeah.
and they're closing down most businesses. So it's been an oddly and, to our benefit, a great time to start a business like that, especially um, because my kids are home, they don't have any after school activities, there's no
Mm,
sports, there's no clubs. So we're always home all the time.
yeah,
And this is something we can do together that feels good. It feels good to make a product that actually helps the world. It's not some cheap plastic trinket that's going to end up in a landfill,
right, right,
but something that is good for the planet, that can make my daughters a little bit of money towards their college
right.
educations. And, in fact, we have a lot of time
Mm.
together now as a family. I don't know if your kids are studying from home
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. For the most part. So I have one who's in college and two that are, in eighth grade. So, and then my daughter's off away at school. But yeah, so we have the same,
Yeah.
challenges and opportunities for spending time together.
Yeah. So it's been a great time. And also, that increased interest in washing your hands and people
Mm,
getting remote deliveries. So you mentioned our starter pack, and that is by far our most successful
hmm.
product. And I think that again speaks to that interest of people and this
Yeah,
growing awareness about sustainability. It's like, here, just try our most popular bars
yeah.
in one pack with a discount. And I can give you a special discount and a special
Uh,
discount for your listeners if you'd like.
yeah, absolutely. We'll make sure we put that in the description too. But yeah, feel free, let us know. Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Okay. Um, so that is by far our most successful is the starter pack. People can try stuff, and then whatever they like the most, they can buy more of.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll get back to shaving at some point once I have to get back out in public and I can take advantage of that. But I still do a little bit around the edges, so I want to check that out as well. But so you want to you're growing. You have the family here, so there's opportunity there. So where do you see this going?
That's a very good question. I mean, there's fantasy, which is, I don't know if you know of the Schmidt's natural deodorant story.
Yeah, I don't know the story, but I know the product. Yeah, but
Okay, well,
why don't you give us a summary real quick?
real quick. So that woman, she's just like a normal woman. She went to like some community college to take classes on making your own natural deodorant.
Hmm.
Started selling retail. She sold it to Unilever for a seven-figure amount a
Wow.
couple of years ago. So, I mean, in the realm of fantasy, I would love
Right.
for some big company to swoop in and take this over and expand it. That would be awesome. I could go back to just writing. Uh, I don't think we're quite there yet, but so I think for this coming year, we're going to roll out new products. Maybe some dog shampoo in a solid,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I think that, there's I mean, that's a market that, I mean, you're such a wide audience there. But again, if you mix the two, that I'm sure you got a market that would definitely find interest. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're just looking at everything that comes in a bottle, beauty product, household cleanser, even perfumes. How could we recreate this in a bar? And as a journalist, it's been really fun to me to kind of do these deep dives on these internet forums where they're talking about soap making or cosmetics making. And
Mm,
yeah, this is what I do instead of watching The Office at
right.
night.
No, you know what? That's awesome. So let me ask you this. So you're doing it out of your kitchen right now. How
We
close to
are.
capacity are you in terms of your ability to produce, right? Because you're supporting 3 retail,
Yeah.
locations. You have your online store. At what point do you have to kind of say, you know what, we need to look at something a little bit different?
Well, I think we're getting close to that point because I try to only keep this business to evenings and weekends. My husband calls himself a bar widower, by the way. We're always busy doing
Yeah.
bars. And but it would be nice to invest in some industrial equipment, like a
Hmm.
bigger mixer. So I'm not using my KitchenAid
Hmm.
to mix shampoo, which they then use to like make a cake. And oops,
Right.
there's a little soap in that cake.
Right. Right. Right.
It would be nice to have a separate space, but our house isn't big enough for that.
So you're out there in the Silicon Valley area, right?
Bay
And
area.
yeah, the Bay Area. Okay, so have you looked into, are there any co-ops potentially? I mean, I know for, chefs, there's co-op kitchen types of things, but have you looked into any co-ops for industrial production at all? Is that the type of thing that might be a bridge?
I don't think we're quite there yet.
Okay.
We got a huge blast of publicity when the local TV channel came out and did a piece on
Nice.
it. And then we got this huge uptick in orders, now for the holidays, but I have no idea. And this is the weird thing where you have to kind of figure out, well, what's going to happen after the holidays. Are we going to like it
Right.
dip?
Yeah.
Um, and again, I don't think there's any way to calculate that.
Not if you've only been in business for a year. It's
Yeah.
tough to know what your, upswings and downswings are going to look like. But I
Yeah.
think you'll know pretty soon here, right?
I mean, the best indicator I think of our success is that we have customers who are coming back and then buying like
Mm,
multiple items for their friends for the holidays, right?
mm.
So
What's your recurring business looking like? I mean, because that's like you said, that's the best indicator. And if you're
yeah,
getting repeat business, boy, that's wonderful.
you know what? There are analytics on Squarespace where I think I could
Ah,
like dig down and find that, but I haven't had the time, quite
sure,
honestly. I just
sure.
know it because customers will write in comments and I read those as I process their orders.
Oh, that's great. But it's, though, I mean, because as you're filling those and the families, filling the orders and filling them out, that's a good sign. So once you dig in, that'll be a good, like you said, analytic to,
Yeah.
dig into. Um, so do me a favor, tell us how we can, find your information, the people that are going to be viewing this, where they go. And I'll, again, make sure I link it in the description of the video here, and then they'll be able to reach out to you. And if you want to offer folks a discount code, you can do that, and let them know how long it's good for. If this is just for the holidays, make sure that when they know when it expires.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll send that to you.
Okay.
So the website is just sustainabar.net.
Okay. .net. All
We
right.
couldn't we couldn't get .com because there's a man in England who is making bars out of ground up crickets,
Oh my goodness.
and he has SustainABar. So
Wow. Wow. Okay.
don't
So
order from him. You'll be getting ground up crickets, and you probably can't shampoo with it.
SustainABar.net. Okay, and it's just the letter A in between sustain and bar.
A bar, yeah.
Okay. All right. So last question for you.
Sure.
Cash, credit, or crypto? I ask everybody this because cryptocurrency is here to stay, and I'm actually doing a video series on this. And so talk to us about your payment methods.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
probably embarrassing myself, but
No, no.
that Bitcoin stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I know
You,
somebody who writes about that. No, credit cards, Stripe, PayPal.
Gotcha. Okay. I love hearing you say that because, like I said, I have a new series that's after the current one that's going out that just kind of is encouraging people to kind of understand where we are. I mean, we're right on the threshold, just like in the dot-com era. I know you used to cover technology as
Yeah.
well, but back in the day, that's where we are with cryptocurrency as well. And that's why I'm asking the question. And, and I don't think that it's bad that you said that, because I think 90%, 95% of the country is going to have the same response you did. But again, it's coming so quickly. I think we need to get up to speed. So that's great.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll put that on my list, sir.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Julia, thank you so much. It's been wonderful talking to you. We'll have to, once you explode even more than what you are right now, we'll have to get you back on and do a follow-up. I think that'd be fun to, all the people that I'm talking to in their early stages to, do a, refresher and have another conversation. And we'll also want to get you back on and have you walk everybody through the business of being an author and a book writer. That's another conversation I think you could shed some great light on. So
Sure. Sure.